Okay, so I have to apologize for the rough video, but I'm just having to shoot this since you're getting it next day. I don't really have time to do anything pretty. So you'll want to start with taping off the top of the bag. Obviously there won't be a big hole there like there is on ours. You'll take your panel, set it right into place. This is a junk one that's a little warped, so it's a little funky. But it'll be pretty obvious which of the holes are using the long bolts that we supplied, and then the two holes that are using the short bolts. But first things first, you're going to want to trace out the inside of this. I wouldn't cut it quite as big as we cut it here because it didn't leave a lot of plastic there for the nuts and bolts to go through. So I would cut it a little bit to the inside, you know, maybe a 1/4 inch or something. You still should have plenty of clearance for the speaker to drop in there. If it doesn't want to, you could always open it up a little more until you get it right, just right. You'll basically drill down into each of these holes to give you a hole in the plastic that's underneath there. Be careful with your drill so you don't go in too hard and have the chuck of the drill score this by accident or something like that. You'll want to mark the hole that's down here, mark the hole that's here, and then just take this off. You'll do all the cutting and everything with the bag taken off of the bike. So I'll show you how to take that off real quick. So to take the bag off, if you haven't done that, there's going to be 2 bolts in here. Where you see that big shiny ring here, there should be a big Torx there and a big Torx. I actually do have, I thought both of them were out, but there is one here as well that you would take out. Once you take those 2 off, right here, you'll see a little tab that is between the bag and the bike. You simply take a long screwdriver, push down on that tab, and the whole bag comes right off. We do show that in one of our other videos when it comes to the people that install amps in the bag, so you can reference that one as well. I'll send you a link to that. One more step, when you're taking this bag off, this is the side with the release for the seat. So this will be in here with a little C-ring that holds it into place. You'll have to detach that and disconnect this. And then each bag will have a plug here that you have to unplug to take the bag off as well. So now that you have your bag off, you'll take the Torx out going along this edge. The one Torx that's right there underneath the handle. And then the Torx is starting here, going up along here for this one, to the back one there. This top panel right here will unsnap once the screws are out. There's one clip that's holding it right in the center. That'll pop off, so you can take that piece off and then remove this to do your cutting and all of that. Sorry, I forgot one screw. Once you have popped this piece of plastic off, there's going to be one more Torx right here that you need to remove for the rest of this to come off. Once you have that done with the ARC speakers, you will have to trim this piece right here. This is part of the mechanism that slides up and down, so it won't affect that mechanism moving. You're just going to be trimming this, the corner edge off. We cut a bunch more of it here that you don't need to cut because this bike was all part of the development. So basically this section here, just to give it a little bit of space for the magnet to clear. This is the inner shell to the bike itself. Or to the bag itself. You don't have to cut that at all, so you don't have to worry about water getting into here. It just runs right out, but nothing actually gets inside of the bag itself. That pretty much sums it up. It'll be the same thing on the other side. When you're putting the pieces together, the one thing we strongly suggest is on the corner ends here, those are going to use your OEM style bolts because they're ones that are visible. Those are the ones I was mentioning to you that if ours don't match, you might be able to swap it with some of yours just to make it look better. But just hold the Torx on this side and use a nut driver on the other side for the lock nuts. That way you're not spinning that bolt on the paint and having to worry about it scratching or scuffing the paint. We also included those little silicone washers in there to put between these and the paint just to keep from scoring the paint by accident. None of these bolts are very structural, so this is cosmetic, the other one is cosmetic, so they don't need to be torqued down really tight. They can just be snugged by hand with those lock nuts. They're not going to go anywhere. These can be done reasonably snug, but again, they don't have to be put on with an impact or anything like that. Just a good solid turn of a screwdriver with a nut driver on the other side, and you should be good to go. If you have any other questions, actually, one more thing. The wires that come in there, once you have this apart, you will see some other wires and things coming along and coming right out this hole from the factory. So you can just wire tie your new plugs right with there. Make sure you got them at a length that they'll reach, and you'll be good to go. I think that's about it. If you have any questions, just shoot me a text. I should be available most times when you're working on it, so I'll do my best to talk to you if I can. I think the only day that I may be hard to reach would be Sunday. Appreciate it.